Hey, everybody, welcome back to the channel that takes you deep inside the San Francisco 49ers. I am your host, Jack Hammer, here at Levi Stadium. Day 11 is in the books. The 49ers beginning a training camp basically in the books because now, a day off tomorrow, we're all getting on airplanes and heading out to Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas for a couple of practices against the Raiders. Then a preseason game coming up on Sunday. Things are getting going right now, and it's been a lot of fun. Today, day 11, we'll get into all of that. I would say the theme of today, if I was gonna come up with a theme for the show today, when it comes to practice, when especially for the offensive side, it'd be something like drop it like it's hot. I don't know, something goofy like that, because the 49ers receivers and tight ends dropped the ball over the field today. It was a rough one. We'll get into that. We'll get into all the numbers. We'll get into Trey Lance. We'll get into Brock Purdy. We'll get into a little bit of Sam Darnold as well. So we'll get into the Flyers' top three guys. We'll get into the defensive players who really stood out. There was a couple of offensive players that I wanted to get to as well. Let's get into this thing and let's take a look really quick at a few of the folks. We got a lot of people over here in the comment section. You guys are awesome. Please make sure you start off the show by hitting that like button if you could, if you haven't done so already. Where am I? Here we are. We got Lucas Pesci, member of the Toolbox. That's why he's got the dollar sign next to his name. It says, "Hey Jack, hey Lucas, how you doing?" Lucas comes to us all the way from Austria. And then we got this guy over here, the notorious GAV. He comes to us all the way from Wales. So we got an international contingent here on Inside the 49ers. Great group of people. We also have Sasha Brady here who says, "Wonder how the team is evolving. Is it just doing what it already does better, or are they adding new wrinkles?" Oh, that's a really good question. We'll get to that one as well. You might want to ask that again as I go through the show. Uh, Nick Wild wants to fight with me. He says, "Did Purdy dink and dunk today?" That's why he's got the laughing face, because he knows that he got me all fired up about that yesterday, thanks to Gav. So no, there was a little bit of dinking, a little bit of dunking, and that's the funny thing. I talked about it the other day, and what's one of the things when I get into the Trey Lance piece, I'm not going to talk about it as dinking and dunking, but the the change that we've seen in Trey Lance this offseason, especially in this training camp, it can't be overlooked. And it has to do kind of with that whole dinking and dunking narrative that's been placed upon Brock Purdy that I went off on yesterday. And we'll get to that in a little bit. But let's start off with the starting quarterback, because the 49ers starting quarterback is going to be Brock Purdy. The 49ers put out their first depth chart of the offseason because of this game coming up on Sunday. It has Brock Purdy as QB1. As far as the backup quarterback, it says Trey Lance or Sam Darnold. I'll explain who I think that's going to be in a minute as well. Actually, who the QB2 should be. But let's look at the day for Brock Purdy. It was yesterday was a rough one. And I want to shout out at 49er Empire. Says, "Hey Jack, bang bang Niner gang. Hey, good to have you on board." Um, when you look at the practice yesterday, it was a rough one for Brock Purdy. And he came out today, and today's practice was a little bit better. But before I get into like what he did in practice today, one of the things that I noticed is that Purdy stepped out of the rotation a couple of times during the warm up reps that they do with the receivers. They come out and the quarterbacks do their throws on their own to the coaches and ball boys and kind of get themselves worked out there. And then they usually go and they do some work with the receivers one on one against the DBs or just throwing against air. And when they're doing the throws against air, I noticed that there's a couple of times in those rotations where Purdy would make one throw. Usually they make two. He'd make a throw and then he'd step to the back and somebody else would take his spot. And he was skipping his rotation spot in there a couple of times. I asked a couple of the members of the 49ers staff during practice if there was if they knew what was going on. And basically this is my impression, not what they told me, but kind of based on what they were saying, looking at it, talking to a couple other folks that were on the field today. I think what happened is we're looking at a situation where Purdue was on a pitch count, yesterday being a heavier practice than some of the other ones. So a heavy day yesterday, coming back today, just not wanting him to stress his arm out so much. You got the off day tomorrow, and then you got a couple of practices in Vegas before an extended period of time here where I think he'll be off for Saturday and Sunday, because I don't expect him to play in the game. So it's nothing major, but definitely I would say that's something to keep an eye on. Was him stepping out of the rotation a couple times. Like I said, not a big deal, but I just wanted to make a note of it and let the folks know that was going on. We're still in the process right now where we are at the 8th of August, so it's a little bit ahead of when I thought he would be back. So we've been able to see him do a lot of reps so far throughout the this camp that really none of us expected to see. Now, let's go ahead and let's get into Brock Purdy's performance today. You know, he had a strong start. You get into those team drills and he had a strong start. First play of the day, he did a nice job. He beat pressure to complete a little check down throw to Ross Bell, a little short one. And did that again on the next attempt. A little bit more pressure, still able to get it off quick to Deebo Samuel. So a couple of good jobs of beating pressure with quick throws to get the ball out. He carried that over to the next series. The next series, 3 throws in a row, backed up situation. Like they were really working on 3rd and long plays all day. So this was like a 3rd and 8 scenario where they're working on. Opens up with a completion to Christian McCaffrey to the right side for a nice gain. I think it was a first down. Um, Follows that up with one of his best throws of the day. It was a deep out to the left sideline to Brandon Ayuk. I think that was really one of his 2 best throws of the day. And then he had his first incompletion on the next one. He was trying to hit Charlie Warner up the right seam. Warner running up there. Fred Warner was tight in coverage, was able to get his hand on the ball, knock it away. A couple of mistakes by Purdy on that one. One, throwing the ball to Charlie Warner to start with. That's not something you want to do if you want to have the ball caught. Number 2, you're going and throwing at one of the best linebackers in the NFL, Fred Warner, who's running stride for stride with that guy up the seam. Now, it's not. I'm being facetious there. It wasn't a bad read. It was where the ball should have gone. Um, I'm just kind of, the whole Charlie Warner thing. I'm not sure. The guy hasn't caught the ball very well for the last year plus, and he was in there in place of George Kittle for much of today. That one was it was on target, knocked away by Warner. Really nice play from the All-Pro. Then you get over to the situational drills, and the focus today, and you'll hear me talk about this repeatedly with all 3 quarterbacks. The focus of the situational drills today was 3rd and long situations. So they would start with the ball 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 12, somewhere in that ballpark, and then they'd go from there. And in that area today, Brock Purdy really struggled. He struggled to convert on those 3rd and longs. Remember, a couple days ago, I guess it might have been last week now, they were doing backed up situation or like 1st and 20, where it was a holding penalty on a run on 1st down. Now puts you in 1st and 20 situations. And in that, Purdy did a pretty good job and was able to almost pick up the 1st down. A really nice play from Daniel Lenore ended that opportunity. Well, today he got 3 shots at this 3rd and long situations, and he wasn't able to convert any of them. And that's a concern. You go back and you look through the way that it went. The first possession, a blitz, forcing Purdy to go to his hot receiver. But the 2 weren't on the same page. I think the hot receiver on the play was Deebo Samuel, who stopped, and Purdy threw the slant instead, and the ball just went to nowhere out in the middle of it was an incompletion. Then they come back after that. Now there's 4th and 8. Purdy's pressured from the pocket, has a roll to his left, get out of the pocket, gets to his left. Nothing's open down the field. He has to throw it away, so you get a throw away for an incompletion. The next possession starts with a little throw out to the left side, trying to hit Christian McCaffrey in the left flat. Just a bad throw from Purdy. This is the kind of throw that he usually would hit with regularity. Just wasn't a good throw out to the left flat. That makes it 4th and 12. And then on 4th and 12, he connects with Deebo Samuel on an out to the right side, but the receiver was pushed out of bounds before he was able to get to the 1st down marker. I think it was 4th and 12, like I said, but I think they gained about 10 on the play, so they came up short. Frustration right there. You've had a couple of missed opportunity on that first one with the hot read, not getting it down with your receiver. The next one, bad throw to McCaffrey, a completion to McCaffrey right there, even though it's not going to pick up much. Instead of it being 4th and 12, you're at least going to be in like a 4th and 7 situation, more manageable, but just not good there. Then you get into the final possession of this period. Little quick screen out to Deebo Samuel, picks up 6 yards. So now you're left with 4th and 2. They started with 3rd and 8. Little kind of the same thing as before. They had the miss to McCaffrey, which would have set up a nice 4th and short. This time, now you're left with 4th and 2. And on 4th and 2, they'd try to run, beat something quick. It's 4th and short. Let's get just a quick little slant or something like that. Charvarius Ward just completely locking up Deebo Samuel, and Purdy having nowhere to go with the ball. Just kind of threw it in that direction, hoping that he was going to get a flag for holding on the defense. Just a really nice coverage by Charvarius Ward, and Purdy's forced to throw it away. And that's like I said, there you go. 3 times in a row and 3 not able to pick up that 1st down. That's not good. And that's something where we need to see Brock Purdy pick it up. And for the most part in this camp, he's done a pretty good job in these situations of moving the ball and moving the offense. But today just wasn't one of his better days. Kind of, yesterday was, I think, the worst day of his practice since his first practice out here on day 2. Today was better, but still just not as sharp as he was last week. At least through the first 2 days. We'll see how a day off tomorrow bodes for him, and then how these practices against the Raiders turn out. Now, let's get to the end of practice. The practice ended with the 49ers starting offense in a hurry-up drill starting from their own 30. So it's a move the ball period, an extended move the ball period, starting at their own 30-yard line, 1st and 10. Possession opens up with Purdy dropping back to pass, play action, trying to hit Deebo Samuel over the middle. Deebo Samuel is running a route over the middle, and that pass gets broken up by Charvarius Ward. So now they try a little run. They don't gain anything. So now they are left with 3rd and 10. On 3rd and 10, Purdy's able to split that up. He's able to hit Christian McCaffrey on the left side for a gain of 5. That's the miss that we talked about earlier, right? So he's right back to that 3rd and long situation like they just worked on. They just worked on all those situations and he struggled, right? Now you're in a move the ball, hurry up. Let's go down in score mode. And this time he connects with McCaffrey, picks up 5 yards. So now you have 4th and 5. On 4th and 5, this was, like I said, the throw earlier out to the left side was one of his better throws. I think this might have been one of the better plays of camp for Brock Purdy. Drops back to pass. Heavy pressure around him. And what does Brock Purdy do? He climbs the pocket, finds Brandon Ayuk over the middle. The ball hits Ayuk on the hands. He loses it. He's not able to catch it cleanly, even though it's right here. Ball bounces out of his hands. Luckily, he juggles it and he's able to make the catch, and it's a 1st down, and the offense moves. From there, you have a little short completion over to Juwan Jennings to pick up a few yards. Then they have a couple of runs by Jordan Mason, picks up a 1st down. Now the ball's in field goal range. Purdy and Kyle Shanahan calls an end of the session. Practice over. You look at the day overall for Brock Purdy, 9 of 16 overall. Did have 1 pass drop. That was a pass to Cam Latu, the rookie tight end that hit him right in the hands that was dropped. So 9 of 16 overall on the day for Purdy. Moved the offense well in that hurry up, move the ball situation. And the nice part about that is that they didn't start it, anywhere around midfield, having to start back at their own 30 and work their way down. That was a nice little drive, I felt, for Brock Purdy and the 49ers offense. That was really the best that they looked all day long with that starting unit. Now, let me get this to work. Let me just check real quick, see what we've got over here. Brian Culp, member of the Toolbox as well. Thank you very much, Brian. He says, hit that like button, everybody. Absolutely. Please hit the like button. Wow. Oh, no. Jay Mills says, worst vacation ever. Flew all the way to Arizona just to break my arm on day 2 while climbing. Oh, what are you climbing? Why are you climbing? Don't climb. Just go to Arizona and chill out like everybody else does. I'm really sorry about the broken arm. Hope you recover quickly and works okay. Dang. Let's see what else. 49ers, Oregon with a good. Do you think it was arm fatigue why he struggled with the 3rd and long situations? We know he has a strength, but is it being overworked? That's kind of that's what I was getting at the beginning. I don't think it was the reason why he struggled there. I think some of that is the 49ers defense putting a lot of pressure on them. And some of it was just him not connecting on some of the throws. Sometimes on these 3rd and long situations, you're either going to make one big throw, right, to pick it up, or you're in a situation where you're going to go for it on 4th down because you've already been told. And that seems like the situation they were in here today. And you're willing to take those checkdowns. And the checkdown throw that he made to Christian McCaffrey was just not a good one. And it was just not a solid session for him overall. They just really struggled to get any kind of rhythm going in those. And so I wouldn't say it was arm. I don't think it was arm fatigue. There probably is some arm fatigue setting in right now with Purdy, to be honest with you, just because of the amount of times that he's been throwing the ball. So, take a day off, come back, and let's see what happens, Thursday and Friday. Looks like we got a new member. Look at that. Where is he? Where is it? I got it over here. It was green. And Taurus GAV. Where is it? It's anyway. There we go. It's at the bottom. Come on, Jack. The notorious JV became a member of the Toolbox. He's got the $sign. Thank you very much, Gav. Hey, if there's anybody else that wants to become a member of the channel, there's going to be some cool stuff as we go through. Eventually, once this membership grows a little bit, we'll be having members only like call-in shows and one-on-one kind of types of things, that type of stuff. So, hey, if you want to become a member of the channel, if you want to really get into the 49ers and be able to be inside the 49ers, let me know. Become a member of the channel, and we'll definitely be doing that as the season goes along. Jack Coletto, you see the Gav here. He's a stud when it comes to the fullbacks. Jack Coletto update. He's still looking good. He's working with mostly. He's not working with the starters, but definitely got some reps in there today with the 2s and the 3s. You're going to see a lot of Jack Coletto on Sunday against the Raiders. I promise you. I doubt very highly that Kyle Juszczyk will play in that game. I think most of the 49ers starters won't be playing in that game. So you'll see a lot of Jack Coletto against the Raiders in that game for the 49ers. And Blind Tom says, hey, Jack, thank you, Jack, for always the most accurate information. Hey, Blind Tom, I appreciate it. Blind Tom, also a member of the Toolbox. You guys are awesome. You guys are very complimentary, and I appreciate that. If I could learn how to speak, it'd be a lot easier for you guys listening on YouTube or watching me live. I promise. Do I think that Coletto makes the practice squad? I do think they're going to try to get him to the practice squad. Whether or not another team picks him up, that's a different question. But I do think that is the goal for the 49ers, is to get Jack Coletto onto the practice squad. Now, we got over Brock Purdy, 6 of 19, 9 of 16 today. 9 of 16, 1 pass drop, so it would have been a 10 of 16 day. Not bad overall numbers, but not the kind of day you want to have, especially in those situational pieces. Now, Trey Lance, yesterday was a bounce. Yesterday was a little bit of a rough day for Lance. I felt, I gave you the numbers yesterday for Lance. It was probably one of his rougher practices of training camp, but that had come after a number of really nice days. Today, he had a really solid bounce back day. Trey Lance finished his day today, 4 of 7 were the numbers. 4 of 7. Now, let me get it all out. 4 of 7 with 3 drops. So you heard me right. 4 of 7 with 3 drops. Every throw that Trey Lance made today during team was on the money, hit a receiver in the hands. 3 of them were dropped. So let's go through the day. The first pass for Lance was a sign of things to come. Following play action, Lance fired down the field to Brandon Ayuk. It was kind of a deep over route, I guess. I don't know if it was an over route, but he was about 15 yards downfield and just inside the numbers on the right side. Lance gets it out there. It wasn't a perfect pass. The receiver had to drop for it. He had to, it wasn't like he was just catching it like this, but it's a ball that hit him right in the hands. It hit him in both hands. It's a catch that should be made, and he dropped it. So you get a drop there. I marked that down as a drop because I felt like Lance put it on him, and it should have been a completion. The next attempt, Lance got the ball out to Cameron Latu. Cameron Latu running out to the left sideline, the rookie tight end. He's there, the ball's there, and instead of putting up both hands and making the catch, he does the same thing that he did to Sam Darnold a couple days ago, and he just sticks one hand up, and what do you think happens? What happens? Use 2 hands. You got 2 of them. God gave you 2 hands. Use them both, Cameron. Get your hand up there, catch the ball like this or like this. I don't care how you want to put them, whether it's this way or this way. Don't put one up there. You haven't shown the ability to catch it with one hand. Every time you do that, you drop it. And so he drops the ball. Another one. 2 plays later, though, Lance went to Latu, and guess what happened this time? He put 2 hands up. It's a lot easier to catch the ball. So Latu did that on the second go around and made a nice catch. One of the areas with Trey Lance that I've been most impressed with, and I kind of hinted at it at the beginning of the show, is his work during the situational move the ball periods. And one of the reasons that I've been so I think he's done so well is because of his efficiency and his willingness to work the ball underneath, take the easy throws, and move it down the field. Yeah, he's had a couple of times where he's tried to force it down the field. One was an interception. Maybe both of the interceptions were coming where he was trying to force the ball down the field. But in most of these move the ball periods, he has done a really nice job of getting back there, looking, and just taking what the defense has given him. Being efficient, take those throws, move the sticks, keep that offense rolling, keep the offense ahead of the downs, all those types of things. And we saw that again today during his opportunities in that 3rd and long period. He got 2 of them. Remember now, Purdy had 3, Lance got 2, Darnold got 1. Lance, 3rd and 8 backed up. He was able to lead that second team offense to first downs on both possessions. Go back and you look at what he did there. The opening possession, he opens it up by drawing the defense off sides. He calls a play, drop, signals, gets the defensive end. So now he's got a free play. On the free play, he tries to hit the ball over the middle. And there's what the problem is, though, right? I don't know what it is, but there's something about Trey Lance doesn't really have different arm slots. When Trey Lance is throwing the ball, it's pretty much always going to come out in the same way. It's always coming out here. It's not like he can go here and then all of a sudden he's going to be able to get you one here like we see from Purdy or Darnold or, what have you. But he goes and he tries to throw it, and guess what happens? Offensive linemen get their hands up, defensive linemen get their hands up, ball gets batted away. It was one of those things. Remember, it's a free play because he'd done a good job already of drawing the defense off sides. It could have been a bigger play if he'd actually gotten the ball to the receiver that was open behind him. But the good thing is now, instead of it being 3rd and 8, the fact that he drew him off sides, which is a positive, gives the offense a 3rd and 3. On 3rd and 3, guess what happens? Drops back the pass, throws a slant to Chris Conley, and if you already heard about Cam Latu, and you already know that he has 3 passes dropped, guess what happens? That's right. Chris Conley has the ball, hit him in the hands, perfectly thrown ball, and he drops it. So, okay, now it's 4th and 3. No problem for Lance, though. Drops back, throws it to Ray McLeod, who's running a quick out on the left side, catches it, goes out of bounds. First down, he's off the field. Really nice job of taking that 3rd and long and converting. Now he comes out for his second opportunity on 3rd and long, and he starts it off with a nice connection to Jawan Jennings. Goes right back to that slant, quick, easy slant, just an easy, throwing a slant is super easy. This is like, just boom, 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 throw it. It's like just in rhythm, and when it's open like that, it's not a hard throw. Nice, easy throw, right on the money. Good ball by Lance. Good stuff right there. Picks up 10 yards. Now you got 4th and 2. On 4th and 2, he goes back to the other side, and he hits the receiver over there for a gain of 5, and you get the second conversion of the day. First down, and that's it. He didn't come out. They didn't have a long extended move the ball period for him. He didn't get to run the up tempo, move the ball at the end. But overall, like I said, 4 of 7 on the day, all 3 incompletions, drops by receivers or tight ends, and Lance is having a really strong camp. I know after day 3, I came on here and I told you that Sam Darnold was leading, in my opinion, the battle to be the backup quarterback. I'm in the camp right now that if Trey Lance isn't the backup quarterback over Sam Darnold, we need to ask some serious questions as to why. Because the performance from Trey Lance compared to Sam Darnold since day 3, it's night and day. He has separated himself. We talk a lot about, I've talked after OTAs and minicamp, how there hadn't been any separation between the two. You're starting to see this now. You are starting to see Trey Lance pulling away from Sam Darnold, at least from what I'm able to gather, with just getting the ball out. And the biggest thing is the fact that he's able to move the offense continuously and moving the offense on a regular basis. That's something that we saw from Brock Purdy in training camp last year. It's part of the reason why, even though he was running with the 3s all the time, they felt so good about keeping him over Nate Sudfeld. And we're seeing that right now out of Trey Lance. He has had a really, really good start to practice of the camp. I just want to see this continue. But if what he's doing right now continues over these next few weeks of camp, if it continues out in Las Vegas in the preseason, where I think you're going to see either him or you're going to see a lot of Lance and Sam Darnold on Sunday, because I don't expect to see Brock Purdy play. If he continues this, he better be the backup quarterback, or else there's going to be a lot of questions around the 49ers when it comes to their handling of Lance. So a really good practice. Again, like I said, 4 of 7, all of his incompletions dropped. You can't really do anything more than that if you're if you're Trey Lance. So that's a really good day on his part. Andrew H wants to know, Jack, why do you always stand in the same spot? Because I like it right here. It gives me a view of Levi Stadium in the background. My other spot down the road a little bit is a little bit noisier because there's a thing that blows all the time, and you guys are having a hard time hearing me. So I moved a little bit further down. And I like to do it here. Otherwise, if I don't do it here, you got to wait till I get home, and that's going to be about 2.5, almost 3 hours away. Hold on one second. Hey, I'll talk to you later. Okay, let's talk after. Huh? What? Okay, Hold on, everybody. I got my kid's got his first football practice, and I'm going to give him his pep talk right now. You guys can hear it live. Hey, have fun. Okay. The main thing is that you have fun because you're playing football, and football is just about to be fun. You know what you're doing. The way that you were throwing the ball yesterday, if you do that, you're going to be fine. Go out there, have fun, be positive. Make sure you are letting everybody know that you're the leader, and just have fun doing it. That's the main thing. Okay. And get out there and get after it, and don't let yourself have any regret at the end of the day. Know that you put everything you can into it. Okay. And I want to hear about everything that went on, and I love you very much. Okay. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Okay. Yeah, he's got that was my kid. He's got his first high school football practice today. He's going to be a freshman. He's bigger than me. He's strong. He's not stronger than me. I'm still stronger than him. But this guy is. I don't know what's going to happen. He's either going to be a good quarterback or he's going to be a really good lineman on the defensive side because he's extremely. Um, he's very good on the defensive line. I don't know what's going to happen. I just know that he's playing at a school that's one of the better ones in this section, and I'm looking forward to the next 4 years in that experience. Let's get back to practice. Um, Lance, really good day. Really good day out of um, really good day out of Brock Purdy as well. So good stuff there. Now let's get to Sam Darnold. Overall, Sam Darnold, Darnold, a little bit different day. Trey Lance kind of keeps doing this. Sam Darnold just kind of, Darnold opens up the day, drops back to pass, starts the boot out to his left. He's got pressure. He's rolling out to his left, and he tries to throw deep down the left sideline to Ray McLeod. The ball hangs up in the air, and Jair Brown is there to make the play. That was cool because we haven't seen Jair Brown make a play on a pass like that yet. He almost had a pick a few practices back, but this time he holds on to the ball. That was awesome to see. On the next series, Darnold finds some success, opens with a completion to Jennings on an out to the left side, a little bit deeper route, nice ball. And then he has a nice completion over to Braden Willis on a short out to the right side, beating some pressure there. Good stuff from Darnold. He was given one series during that third long situation, 3rd and 8, drew the defense offside, just like what we heard with Trey Lance. Good stuff there. And then on that play, he draws the defense off sides, hits his back foot, throws a little slant to Willie Snead, right? A lot of these slants on these third down situations. Throws it to Willie Snead, and the receiver, say it with me, dropped it. So, good job drawing the defense offside. Good job getting the ball to the receiver. Unfortunately, Snead drops it. But now you got 3rd and 3. On 3rd and 3, a little quick screen out to Ronnie Bell, and the rookie wideout dropped it. Back-to-back incompletions. Darnold then goes back to Snead on 4th and 3 to pick up the first down. So good stuff there. He was then given an opportunity with the number 2 offense for a hurry up, move the ball possession, the same thing that Brock Purdy was. And he was able to do a good job moving the team down. Ty Davis-Price opening up the possession with a gain of 4. Then you had an incompletion from Darnold to Ray McLeod on the left side. And that left the offense facing 3rd and 6. And from there, he steps up, gets the ball down the field, a really nice throw down the field to Willie Snead for a gain of 23. The longest throw of the day for the 49ers. And then from there, you have a couple of Davis-Price runs, sets up 3rd and 4. On 3rd and 4, Darnold goes to Snead again, this time for a short gain of 5. And at that point, they're in field goal position, kick the field goal, and you're done. So, you look at Darnold, overall, 5 of 8 on the day, a couple of drops, one nice down the field throw, but you got the interception too, and the interception, I think, is the negative of the day. And, kind of reading back my notes right here and looking at it, I do still think that there's separation. And the reason I think there's separation is because Lance has shown the consistency throughout to move the ball down the field. That's the biggest thing. He's shown that consistency. He's shown that ability to constantly move it. Darnold, it's been a little bit more raggedy. And this thing's going to keep going on, and you're going to get into the preseason, and we'll see how it all plays out from there. Shane, thank you very much. Says Jack, you're the best. I appreciate your coverage a lot. Are you going to Pittsburgh week 1 or any road games? Got to buy you a beer. Talk Niners. I am going to be in Vegas for the practices on Thursday and Friday. And yes, I will be in Pittsburgh week 1. That's one of my things. I started last year. I went out to Chicago, and so make that season opening game, whether it's here or on the road, that first road trip, going out to Pittsburgh. I'll be down in Los Angeles the following week against the Rams because that's a drive for me. Almost takes me as long to get to Los Angeles as it takes to get here in traffic, I should say. It's about half the drive really to get over here. But yeah, I will be in Pittsburgh. And Shane, if you're up for it, and hit me up on here, hit me up on Twitter. We can always find a way to figure out how to hook up at the stadium and say hi, give a high five or something like that. I don't need a beer. I don't drink beer, but you can buy me a soda. I'll go for that any day of the week. Let's see. That should have went Varsity Blues on him. You're too fat. He's not too fat, but he got his Varsity Blues pep talk yesterday. After we got done here, I drove to go do one last practice session with him before practice starts for real, and he got an earful from Dad. That one about the practice and all that kind of stuff. The Notorious Gav says, "What are you seeing out of Ronnie Bell, Jack?" Ronnie Bell's he's an up and down player. Not seeing a whole lot out of him. Just dropping the ball too much. Needs to do a better job of holding on to it. When you get the chances like you got today, you got to make the most of those situations, and it didn't work out today. So a rough deal there for Ronnie Bell. So yeah, just not a good one there for Bell. I'm not sure exactly where I would say he is, but Bell definitely having a little bit of a struggle in camp here. Now Brandon Allen, he got out there. He had just 2 throws on the day, completed one. The one throw down the field throw, not bad to Deebo Samuel, but just a couple of throws there. I'm not sure how much we're going to see of Brandon Allen out in Vegas. I would expect that we're going to see a good amount of him in the preseason games. Maybe not so much in week 1. But I think we'll see more of him as we get into like weeks 2 and 3. Get into some of these other guys. Cameron Latu, the 49ers traded up to select Latu in the 3rd round. And I will say this, he looks like a good blocker, but at the same time, this guy has struggled to hold on to the ball. And today he was an equal opportunity dropper. He dropped one from Brock Purdy and one from Trey Lance. And, San Francisco already has one tight end who can't catch in Charlie Warner, but now they've got 2. And Warner might be utilized more for his blocking ability, but if you've got a tight end on the field that teams know can't catch the ball, they're not going to defend him the same way. Maybe the Pointers are going to be able to sneak 1 or 2 by him that way, and he'll catch the ball. But as we saw with Warner last year, they tried that twice, and he dropped both of those. So I'm just not sold on Latu. He looks like he's a guy who shows the ability to get open. He shows the ability to block really well, and it's early. Maybe he's going to come around, but at this point right now, he's been a disappointment. And saying otherwise would be a little bit of a stretch. So I just got to call it like I see it with Latu. Hopefully he can turn around, and you can see the potential. But it's kind of like I used to say with when I say with all players, potential is one thing. You can have as much potential, but if you don't fulfill the potential, that potential means nothing. So we got to get that. We have to see more out of him if he's going to be able to make that work. Brandon Ayuk, Chris Conley, Willie Snead, each having a drop pass today. Ayuk nearly had a second on that one that he bobbled from Brock Purdy, but he was able to hang on to it. On the positive note on the offensive side, I got to talk about Colton McKivitz. Everybody wants to know about that offensive line. We're hearing about the sacks, and we're hearing about all those kind of things. Colton McKivitz, though, I think he looks solid. One of the things that as I watch him, he has very good feet, and there's very few times, and he's 2 things with him. One, he has good feet, and so he's not off balance with his feet. He's quick enough to get out and get in front of the on-rushing defensive end. we'll get a better look of that when he's out there in Vegas against Max Crosby, who's one of the quicker and better defensive ends in the league. But at least against what the 49ers have stands Nick Bosa, he's doing a very good job of winning in pass protection with regularity. The other thing that he has, other than that good balance and that good with his legs, is he has patience. And there as a with an offensive lineman, it's similar to a defensive back. Travis was talking the other day about having patience in your back pedal and allowing that receiver to get to you before you get out. You break your hips and start to run with them. Well, it's kind of the same thing with an offensive lineman. You want to allow that guy to get. You want to be patient enough for that guy to get to you before you start to fire on them, especially in pass protection. Because if you don't, that's where you get off balance, and that's where you're Mike McGlinchey flying through the air. Like what we saw last year on some occasions and throughout his career as a 49er. So right now, Colton McKivitz looks like he's an upgrade at right tackle. I don't know about an upgrade, but at least on the same level. And I say the reason I don't put him as an upgrade is because he hasn't played in a game yet. And if he gives you what McGlinchey gave you in terms of the ability to keep the guy up, but he still has some bad reps, that's going to be a positive for the 49ers, because the rest of their offensive line is a lot more solid than I think people are giving it credit for. Nitin, thank you very much. He says, Jack, thanks for the in-depth analysis. Love your work you are doing, and wishing you the best on your journey. Your passion and balanced reporting is unmatched. Always look forward to it. And then I really appreciate that. And I know that I saw some comments from you on Twitter recently to the same effect. And I really appreciate it. I just hit the like button on Twitter. I've seen this and I appreciate it. And I appreciate the people that watch me, that appreciate that understand the objectivity, I guess is the word that I'm bringing to this. I try to just tell you guys what I'm seeing, and not put a whole lot of my own stuff into it. Every once in a while you're going to see it, but for the most part, just, hey, there's no reason to come out here and tell you guys, there's no reason to come out and make up whatever. Not that anybody's doing that, but I just, I do my thing the way that I do it, and I really appreciate the fact that you like it. When Green Glass Fool says the Cone blocked me for no good reason, good riddance to him. Hey, and thank you, $2 to me. Appreciate it, Green Glass Fool. Notorious Gav says, who's better, Jack, Latu or Willis? Willis has been the much better catcher. He's been better with he's been a much better receiver of the ball. I think Latu is maybe a little bit better route runner. He wins more often with his routes. I think Latu is also a better blocker, but Willis is the better of the pass receivers, that type of thing. They're different types of tight ends too. Latu is more of an inline tight end with his hand in the ground, whereas Willis is more of a move tight end. Kind of like how you see Kyle Juszczyk when he's not in the backfield playing fullback. He's going to be that tight end that moves from side to side, and he's like in the wings and those types of things. So that's usually what you'll see out of him. So a little bit different players. We got to the Green Glass Full one. We got another one from Jaheem Raheem. Thank you very much. He says, I come to Jack for the unbiased truth. Appreciate that as well. Same thing with BL, whatever that is. Sorry, Blaster kind of thing. Appreciate that. And I agree, Gav. If Colton McKivitz does his job, this O-line is going to be ready to go, and it's going to be an improved group over last year. Another one. Look at that. We got Shane. So speaking of O-lines, is Banks back? If not, who's retaining a guard, and how do they look? Banks is not back. He's coming back. I saw him working on the side field today, so that's a good progress in his return from the concussion that he suffered. So he's making that progression. The player who has taken his spot at left guard is John Feliciano, the veteran that they picked up, who played center last year for the New York Giants. And talked to offensive line coach Chris Furster a few days ago. He was talking about Feliciano, and he says that Feliciano's best position is center, but the 49ers are set at center. But he's started a bunch at guard as well. And so right now he is the starting left guard, doing a pretty good job over on the left side of that 49ers offensive line. So that's a really good question. Also, in terms of the soda, absolutely. Hey, let me know where you're sitting, where I can find you when you're out in Pittsburgh. Get in early, and I can run down and definitely say hi. Would love to do that. Let's see what else we've got. We have We talked about Cole McKivitz. Let's pop forward the defensive side really quick. Jair Brown talked about this, but the rookie safety has shown up several times against the run throughout the course of this camp. Today, it was awesome to see him make a play on defense. We heard a lot coming into camp when he was drafted about how all the turnovers that was able to make throughout his college career. Today, we saw it for the first time, picking off Sam Darnold, like I mentioned. And he's going to be one of those guys that you're going to love watching. I think we're going to have to watch him against the Raiders in these joint practices. And then in the preseason, I think in the preseason, Jair Brown is really going to shine for his ability to make plays in the running game around the line of scrimmage. I'm excited to see what that looks like because I love physical football. And if you're able to get that out of a guy like Jair Brown at safety, that'll go a long ways for the 49ers. Along the defensive line, it was a good defensive line day today for the 49ers. You had Eric Armstead breaking through, beating the starting offensive line on a couple of occasions, especially early in practice, to put pressure on the quarterback. Javon Hargrave beating John Feliciano, the player I just talked about. He got to Purdy for what I think would have been a sack. That was one, I think ended up being a throwaway or something like that. But that was a really nice rep for Hargrave. And you kind of look at that, the combination of Armstead and Hargrave inside is going to be a problem for opposing offenses. I'm going to probably say that over and over again during this camp. And I'm looking forward to watching that group when they get out to Vegas on Thursday. It's going to be a lot of fun. A couple other guys really quick I want to shout out along that defensive front. Kevin Givens, he was able to get in the backfield and pressure Purdy. He also had a sack of Sam Darnold yesterday. So you're seeing some really good depth from the 49ers there. And another really solid depth piece, T.Y. McGill. McGill fighting for a spot on the back end of this roster as an interior defensive lineman. Not sure if he's going to make it on the 53. I think he might be a guy that ends up on the practice squad and then bounces back and forth and at some point lands on the 53 man. I'm not sure if he's going to make it there right away. We'll see. Today, he showed his ability as a run stopper. This is one of the things that he's really good at. He beat the offensive lineman at the point of attack, and he dropped Jeremy McNichols, the running back the 49ers just picked up earlier today, for no gain. Let me stop there real quick. Jeremy McNichols, I don't know if you heard, but one of the undrafted free agent running backs the 49ers had signed this offseason was Ronald Awatt. The 49ers releasing him earlier this morning and announcing that they had signed Jeremy McNichols as a free agent. McNichols has been around the NFL, bouncing around since 2017. He was actually a member of the 49ers. He's one of the guys who went through camp here back in 2017. In the first year that Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch were here, they had Jeremy McNichols in, and he was a member of the team that season. So he's back. He had the ball a couple of times, a couple of runs, dropped by McGill at least on one play there. Ken Martin says, thank you for your super chat. Keep up the great work, Jack. Tell Jimmy G we didn't hate him. We didn't all hate him. I'll tell him. I'll make sure if I see him, I'll be, hey, Jim, Big Jim. We didn't all hate you. Not everybody hated you. I'm kidding. But yeah, I'll definitely be reporting on Jimmy Garoppolo's day. That's right. And then we got Javon. How is Javon Kinlaw doing from Lucas Pesci, member of the Toolbox? Javon Kinlaw doing well. He's still working in with the twos. I didn't see anything today as far as him really making any plays, but he was out there. I think he was a part of a couple of run stops and things like that. So definitely, he's doing better. That's for sure. Let's see what else we got. Let me see. I can't go out in Vegas, man. I'm an old man. I got a 8:15 wake up call after in the morning for practice. I'm barely gonna make it to practice on Thursday. I'm flying out Thursday morning at 6 o'clock. I land in Vegas at 7. Practice is 8:40. I've got to try to make it from the airport to Henderson in about an hour. They give me enough time to get into practice. It's going to be like I'm gonna look like me running through the who is that? Who is that? Never mind. I don't even want to get into O.J. Simpson. I'm not going to look like O.J. Simpson. I promise you. I don't have anything like that in my bag. So, but I'll be running. You'll be seeing me running through it to make sure that I get over there. Fred Warner stood out today with that nice knock away on the seam route for Charlie Warner. Dre Greenlaw, he looks like he's ready to face someone in a different color uniform. Today, he ran down Christian McCaffrey on a sweep out to the left side, dropping the back for no gain. Charvarius Ward had tight coverage throughout practice. fourth and short play, just completely locking up Deebo Samuel at the line of scrimmage. That was a really nice battle. Then on that move the ball parade, right there on that in route, just running stride for stride with Samuel, boom, knocking the ball away. So really good stuff out of Charvarius Ward. One other thing that I got to shout out about practice today, kicker. And there was a lot of people that were up in arms when the 49ers selected kicker overall, Jake Moody overall, number 99. That brought, raised a lot of eyebrows. And here's the deal. Jake Moody today, you want to know why they drafted this guy? Twice today from 60 yards, split the uprights. A guy like that will change things for this 49ers offense. If you can get, basically at that point, if you can get to the 40, you've got points on the board. And for this 49ers offense, if they can get them, they're going to get the ball to the 40 a lot. And if Jake Moody's going to hit 50-plus yard field goals, they're going to be putting up a lot of field goals. Trust me on that one. So two really good kicks out of Jake Moody today. Both those were 60-plus yarders, and neither one of them was really close. So he's been doing a really good job of throughout training camp, and this is a guy who I'm excited to see move forward. There's a difference between him and Zane Gonzalez with the way the ball comes off their foot. Gonzalez is a good kicker too, but he's dealt with injuries throughout his career. And I do a lot of work with Larry Kruger on YouTube, and he's pointed out a couple of times that he feels that Gonzalez could be a trade candidate for the 49ers, somebody that the 49ers might be able to trade and get a pick for. And if they're able to do that, that'd be unbelievable. It'd probably be for, a kick down the road, some kind of a conditional thing or whatever. But if the 49ers can flip a kicker that they traded for future picks for another, a future pick from somebody else, that would be fantastic. Otherwise, they'll just release him and he'll end up somewhere because Jake Moody's going to be the kicker in San Francisco. But that's really good still. Conley having a strong camp? I wouldn't say that it's been strong. He's a veteran receiver, typically going up against young cornerbacks because he's usually playing with the 2s and the 3s. So he's got that advantage. He's doing well doing so. Today with a bad drop. Like I said, he's a solid vet who is showing out against guys who are on the younger side who aren't quite as seasoned as what he's going to play with on a regular basis. But he's having a good camp nonetheless. In terms of Jair Brown, I think, I just mentioned him earlier. I think when it comes to Jair Brown, he's somebody that for myself, I've come to notice him more often because he's not making plays on the back end very often. He's not making plays in the pass defense. But where I see Jair Brown pop up all the time, as I start watching more along the line of scrimmage, all of a sudden you keep seeing 27 in that group, and they don't tackle, so you don't see the tackles, right? So you've really got to be paying attention to what's happening in there and who's the guy that's forcing the running back to cut and stuff like that. Jair Brown is getting into the hole, making plays like that, and so really good stuff out of Jair Brown. And I think that he's going to be a guy you're going to like once you guys get to see him playing in a preseason game over these next couple of days in Vegas, and then in the game on Sunday. So that's right. Brian Culp, member of the Toolbox, says it is Moody season. Hey, if there's anybody that loves kickers more than Brian Culp, I don't know who it is, because Brian's all about the kickers. He's all about Jake Moody, and for good reason. Guy has a great leg. I think, he's going to be really good for the 49ers when it comes to field goals, but he's also going to help that defense out because of his ability to get the ball up high and force the opponents to be deep in their own end to start off with. So good stuff all around there. Just to kind of wrap up the show, I'm at the end. Don't have any more notes to talk about, so let's do this. Do me a favor. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that like button. Once you hit the like button, make sure you also subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And then make sure you turn on your notifications because you're not going to want to miss any of the updates right here on Inside the Farms with Jack Hammer, especially coming up on Thursday and Friday. I will be in Las Vegas. I will be one of the few people that is actually out there. There's just the reporters. The fans aren't going to be out there. It's just going to be us. So make sure you're tuned in. I'll be breaking it down after each practice on Thursday, on Friday, right here on the channel. Look forward to bringing that all to you. And again, really quick, just to wrap it up, a 9 of 16 day for Brock Purdy with a drop. Trey Lance, 4 of 7. Every pass getting to receivers. All three of his incompletions coming by the way of a drop. And then you had Sam Darnold with the interception. But other than that, a solid day, 5 of 8 overall. So that's the 49ers quarterback situation. I went through the rest of the team. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit your notifications. Make sure those notifications are on because you're not going to know exactly what time I'm coming on. Make sure you have them turned on so that you're notified and you can check it out. And if you miss a live, you can always come back and watch it later. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk with you soon. Take care. Thanks, guys. Thing's not going to end. It probably would work better to turn it off if I actually hit end.